but this is where he needs his teammates to step up. On a map like Nuke, where, you know, they have a lot of anchors, the way that this Gambit roster plays, they sit back. They love to sit in the bomb sites and mow down with those rifles. They're all good at it. Dren, Thursday, Hobbit, the likes. I'm going to kick it off here, ladies and gentlemen. Smoke and a kit on Dozier. Hopefully come into play for the post-plant scenario, and 5 sets of armor as Squeaky Door gets open and Sticko busts out.
Tries to find a kill versus Adrian, but it's then traded back by Rop, so at least not too much of a loss so far. In the meantime, Mousesports, they're going to get themselves closer to the site, but now Doja comes out from behind the silos, and Chris J comes out with a 2K. Both headshots, and both of the players off of that A site, leaving Fitch to flank, but not for long, because Oscar's got his number, and that's Mousesports now with a pistol. Woo! What a way to start it off. An explosive entry onto that A-bomb site, and it works out wonders. I think this is really the nail in the coffin. Chris J's 2K shutting down any extra denier there, or any extra response from Gambit.
Quick way to start it, as you said. And Force Buy will be coming out from the likes of Gambit. Those are the only one not investing into anything. Maybe he's going to be dropping an AWP for Mo as we get to that first gun round. We did see in the last matchup, if you're around, how effective Envious and Na'Vi alike were with pistols. And Oscar's going to get tagged up a little bit. He makes his way across the secret with Sunny hand in hand.
And this is a position, of course, where these rifles will certainly pan out at the distance outdoors. So once they have to eventually get closer to the bomb sites, that this armament from Gambit can come to life. Right now it's still Doja, who just kind of scuffles his way back behind the box, barely alive at this point. But then again, he is also the least armed. What a teammate, not getting a gun or armor, presumably so that he can equip Mo with an AWP.
Yeah, the things you do as in-game leaders, right? The unselfish plays coming out. And he is unselfishly going to go down first.
Oh my goodness. Adrian, the dirty Deeg to respond back. Trades out Doja. So, I mean, again, that's the unarmored, unarmed CT traded versus one of the rifles.
Is anyone looking out for this? That's the question. Sure, we've got a Dren at ladder base, but they must know that Catwalk is open. He's getting a little glimpse onto the inner bomb site. And a Dren with a second. We've missed it, and he doesn't know someone's up ladder as Sticko's able to take him down. 3-on-3.
Hobbit in from Hut. There's Oscar removed. Sticko and Rops, though, that's the damage control, right? We just needed a single moment whereby Mousesports could get themselves back into the advantage, and they have done exactly that. But what they haven't done is figured out where Fitch is, and as he walks into the site, he sees the player in the boxes, knows the second's the planter, and it's a 1v1 with Sticko and Fitch, and he creeps all the way around, never sees it coming, and that's Gambit's Force Buy panning out, despite only having those pistols.
Fitch slap, take that early as he wins the 2-on-1 scenario, gets Gambit in contention to get back control of the economy early. And that's the spicy start. That's what we need. That's the flare. These Deagle shots, though. The second one, we didn't get to see it. We heard it break the glass, but Chris J didn't even get a chance to stop and shoot. And Fitch rounding it out with the CZ. This is what we're talking about. This map and pistols. Name a more iconic duo. Oh, I don't know how I feel about the alligator buyout by Hobbit.
I was gonna say, this map in the XM1014, the only player that I've really seen do this consistently would have been Hiko back in the day.
JW as well a little bit.
Ooh, true enough. Could be very useful if you're able to push your way into the lobby. Right now, it's gonna be the cross thanks to the wall of smokes here. And again, Mousesports are coming in with that one Galil, right? Meaning that they will have a chance in a couple of gunfights if they can narrow it down, maybe versus the Scout, the UMP, or as noted, the shotgun, but right now it's Oscar practically using the Deagle, or excuse me, yeah, Deagle as a shotgun. Gets himself an upgrade, UMP. They also get themselves the bomb plant. So this is not how things were supposed to unfold for Gambit. Now tasked to retake. Trying to keep his eyes on the vent. We'll follow up with a frag grenade as damage was dealt. Not enough to find the kill. Not yet. Player does start to push in, but time's becoming the additional issue.
Whoa.
Oh, Fitch wraps around. That's a great headshot into the 3 versus 2. They're trying to frantically find the bomb because they don't have a kit, so it's a 10-second defuse, and the shotgun just starts pumping. Rops with 1, and there we have it. Mousesports on the Force Buy. Insult to injury as they catch Adrian on the exit. Oh, this is reminiscent.
Bloody hell, that's back and forth early on, isn't it? I really want to point out the hero of that smoke. Once Squeaky Deal gets naded open, that smoke trickles out and covers off Squeaky slightly and the vent. It forces the CTs to play the rotation. You saw Dozier not wanting to dive straight away because he didn't know if someone had dropped down there. And when he did rotate, the secret play had already come in and that map territory was already taken away. So not only does it add another avenue for the Ts, it also just forces the CTs to rotate in a different manner. And that means you're usually pulling someone away from ramp. And in that scenario, it wasn't to be. Oscar opening up early with this one. The scout's down. And you've just cracked open a monster, mate. I can smell that from a mile away.
Gotta get wild here.
I like how they take this dry, right? A lot of teams would want to use utility, but that's when it gets scary. And we did see Adren punish them with the Deagle. Sunny with a nice shot there onto Adren. But the rationale, the reason that I like teams taking it dry is because normally you can take the heads-up duels, you can use the AKs, you can use the rifles, and you should be winning a lot of those fights. It's not every day you're going to have Adren popping off those 2 really crisp kills.
Yeah. Absolutely fair enough. Oh, we don't even get anything in this one other than damage. There was that moment, of course, where the M4 could have found some impact outside, but a couple of missed shots and a missed opportunity swings it back for Mousesports. Now they've gotten themselves in charge of the situation. Gambit certainly not going to buy up in this one. Actually full vanilla right now, not a single penny spent.
We've dodged the back and forth that we saw in the Envious versus Na'Vi game. Mousesports able to right the ship with some good shots, some good plays. Oscar down the vent again. This is from that smoke that I'm talking about, right? It also gives information to the Ts. Snacks was the one who really brought this to the forefront. They don't even know he's there. He's going to be coming up behind Mo. I'd be going for the knife frag here. Get yourself a juicy bank early. I think it might actually happen, but never mind. Oscar not going to take any risks, not going to give him the chance. So the rest of Mousesports look to take control of ramps.
Oscar's actually going to chase the feet of Hobbit. Hobbit gets away. In the meantime, Mousesports get themselves into ramp, really starting to work their way downwards. Gambit are hungry for even just a kill. Something to say this was a win, but instead they start to drop. And there we have it. Doja pops Sunny behind the boxes. Stiko's going to cover the gun to ensure that no more damage is dealt. And that is the case. Easy cleanup, easy round. Mousesports with the 4th.
Yeah, this is where you start to hope that Gambit can wake up. I know it's very early in this game, but we want to see positive signs. Adren on the Deagle early, that was definitely a positive sign. Mo's not getting off the board yet. He's still sitting on 0 kills. This is it. This is where we really get started. And the problem for Gambit is that lack of utility. And you hear me saying time and time again, when you're in this position, you need to be assertive. You need to be proactive. Do something as a unit and try and find that opening. However, that's not really in the wheelhouse for Gambit. They love to sit back. They love to let the fight come to them. And their superior aim ring true. I feel like it's going to be a slow start to this round as the default spread is set up by Mousesports, just posturing towards outside, seeing if anybody wants to take a peek, wants to look for information.
We got a couple sound cues. Mind games. And it has drawn out most of the utility from Gambit. They've got the double flashbang, single smoke. Adrian's in a position where he'd love to maybe pry up for a little more info. Meanwhile, Mo, he's in the back of Garage, so he's just got to wait, and there we have it. Headshot walks right in. Poor old Sunny. Split wide open. Rops in the meantime, he's trying to get some contact towards ramp, essentially just feeling out the map, but in the process, they've now lost 2 players. And Gambit just dismantling this one by one. Rops responds, but Hobbit's already got himself committed to the cubby. And there we have it, another headshot straight back. This is a great round for Gambit. A good way for them to now like re-cement themselves on the comeback.
Just got to make sure they don't lose any more players here. They need to start building a bank. And Oscar would be smart to save the orb. Actually, he's going to try and dispose of it so that they can't have it when he or if he goes down. He wants to do damage financially, and this is definitely a very smart move by him. There's one. If he can find that second, the magic number is 3. You want to take them down. You want to force them to be in a position where they can't drop it at plant. That's even more of a bonus.
Hobbit's right there, though, so mows him down, guns it out, and does give Gambit the second. Still, second frag was nice. Bomb plant, that's icing on the cake. certainly going to help Mousesports rebound.
Yeah, and denied that AWP, right? They're not going to be able to find that one. He's squirreled that one away. The economy, that little plant bonus, it's not hugely necessary for Mousesports because they did string 3 in a row relatively convincingly, but it will help as we go further down the track if they are to lose more rounds. And Oscar's not going to have any problems getting an AWP back in his hands. We do have Chris J sitting on roughly 10k. So they've got the full buy again, and both teams now completely bought up. Adren the only one lacking a little bit of utility, and hopefully this time the defuse kits don't be an issue, or don't become an issue. As the wall of smokes comes out early, and a faster pace this time from Mousesports. Rops opening up, assumably towards that top side.
There's that door that gets busted wide open. Right now, Mo's able to spot the player on the cross, so they know that they've definitely lost control of the outer yard until Mo comes in with a kill, and Doja gets himself down Ven. Maybe going on a bit of an expedition, trying to figure out whether or not Mousesports have gotten positioning towards B, when in fact, it's Stiko to creep his way through heaven, but he looks downwards, offset crosshair, not enough to cost him the kill. He still finds it, and they find that man advantage, but Hobbit's still beneath him. Curious situation here where Mousesports are starting to flood into the A site. Doja's hot on the heels from Secret. Hobbit's still outdoors, so it's certainly going to be a retake attempt. But how do they find their footing?
Yeah, very difficult to get control of this ladder again with Stiko posted up. Molotov is going to come in, hopefully to flush him out, and it will do. He is able to stay on those rafters, and Fitch on the flank. He's not looking the right way. Rob's popping his head off, and this is a bomb site that they've been locked out of, and Oscar definitely putting his stamp of approval on this one.
Oh, and Stiko denies Hobbit any footing straight back. They could have had a 3-pronged assault back onto the retake, but they lose on all fronts. Mousesports doing a very good job of just sealing the after plant.
You have to give a lot of props there to Stiko for taking that ladder control off of the chaos. So you see them throw the wall smokes. We did see Sunny jump his way into Warehouse, getting taken down by Mo early, but that gave up territory, right? Because they wanted to take that fight. Mo actually dropped off of the ladder position to take that duel, which allowed Sneeko to sneak around the catwalk. And once he was up there, finding that kill, unexpectedly, he was there so quick, I don't think anyone was ready for it. And that was the opening that Mouseboard needed in that round. Now we look at the money situation on the side of Gambit. They're talking a lot. They do have this tactical pause. And they probably should be taking a save as the player with the most is Mo on 4.3k. So maybe just a couple of pistol upgrades. We do know how the pistols are dangerous, right? We have seen that.
Yeah, fresh on our minds.
Mousesport's better at mitigating, it seems, so far. They've done a good job in these situations, staying together as a unit, posting up in the right position. LMBT, the coach, has obviously got those protocols in position. And Oscar's going to be leading the charge here, getting the AWP posted up at ramp. Uncharacteristic miss there from Oscar. Through the legs as he flicks up.
We'll give him 1.
Yeah, Fitch won't be re-peeking that angle anytime soon, that's for sure.
Christian's actually going to take his place here, so starting to move forward as the CTs trickle in, all being shut down, every single one. Barely any damage done. I don't even think they got 50 HP shaved off of Mousesports with that. Kind of just throw it to the wind, which is fair enough. They had so little to work with. But this is Mousesports making a hell of a T-side here on Nuke.
Yeah, it's their pick, so their game plan is obviously panning out the way they wanted it to, even though they had that shaky start. And just a really poor mix buy coming out from Gambit here. Swag 7, UMP, Famis, that's not ideal, but Mo does have the AWP, and if he can find some impact, if he can assert himself as he goes into Mini, looking towards Lobby. It's a nice shot onto Rops.
Right through the edge of all the walls. Enough to execute him. Chris J still blocked off of applying any kind of pressure towards ramp, and in the meantime, Adrian's going to work his way towards Secret. Mo's still spotting the outside of Mini, but Hobbit's cautious. They're unsure as to whether or not there are players from Mousesports just occupying the rooftops, and they very easily could be. In fact, they are starting to position for what would be a outer smoke play. Unfortunately here for Adrian, he's not really going to be able to peek upwards and try to stop any kind of a push. He needs to just hope that they come towards him. And if he has to chase, you better hope that he catches them with their back turn, because that Mag 7's not going to be too strong at a distance.
Yeah, you bang on there with the weapon disadvantage.
Fitch is feeling pressured from ramp, so he falls back. flashing the players behind Stiko, who is the first man to fall. Tries to duel and loses his life for it. Fitch still going to reposition back towards the site. Another engagement goes his way. That's the bomb in the open, but finally he dies. It's Oscar to trade it out. And a 4 versus 2 still set to unfold here. Sunny is on full display as he taps the plant once, baits the doors open, and sure enough, that tells him that the CTs aren't nearby. Won't commit. Damages the player on the cross. Does it one last time, and there will be no plant as of yet. And Oscar 1v4 gunned down as he tries to tuck tail. Mo catches the kill, and there we have it. Gambit with another.
Just seem to win these rounds where they don't have a lot going into it, and they stand up and deliver with frags. Mo in the opening here. It's a nice shot. Rob's getting dropped, and yeah, Fitch with a good decision, right? Not hanging around at ramp. That's one of the things that you see when you're a certain type of player. You know, you don't want to sit there and always go for the frags. To drop back to give your team the information is just important as getting all those kills. But Mousesports, they've still got enough money in the bank to go for another buy. Those fast smokes towards Yard are happening once again. Looks like they want to get across on Silo. This is where we saw Stiko have success in the earlier gun round. Same kind of rotation. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Quickly able to make his way to the top, and Mo's dropped off. He's nowhere to be seen, and they don't even expect it as once more. Stiko's going to strike on top side.
Just exploiting that outer control. Maybe Doja in this position can find something, but he's just so distracted at this moment that any kind of a split into A will cost him his life. In the meantime, Adrian doubles back to try and help Fitch. Mo's doing damage control, but Chris J continues on, dropping Doja and ensuring that the bomb is now planted. 4 versus 3. And all of the CTs outside of the bomb site. They'd love to find a footing back in this. Oh, but Stiko. Dirty positioning. Finishes the kill off with a spray. Then he dies actually to Fitch. So that is the AWP retrieved. Both of them in the hands of Gambit. We've actually narrowed this down a little bit more. And Oscar up close wanting to duel op v op.
Ooh. Knife him. Do it. Do it. Oh, Sunny. To the rescue. Obviously an important frag to make, not letting them hold on to those AWPs. I think something to note there is that thing that they're exploiting, the way that they're getting up top of ladder so quickly, the way that Stiko is finding success, it's probably a tendency in rotation that LMBT and Chris J and the support team at Mousesports have identified, because that's twice now that's the gaping hole, that's the massive gap, that's the way in for Mousesports, and it's fantastic to see. You're getting to see this in real time. We get to see the homework being done and how they exploit teams and tendencies. It's like I always talk about on the analyst desk. It's actually really cool when you can see a gap or something actually being used in this way. And we're seeing more variation, right? They've done the wall smoke. Normally this is the deep wall smoke. This allows them to, I don't know, play a few more aggressive angles, also a different face that they're showing.
I'll also be curious to see whether or not Gambit recognize the weakness in their setup. If they're self-critical enough to isolate that tendency and change it up on the fly. Right now they are just going to continue down secret. Oscar's going to linger behind, looking for anybody on display, but Gambit tucked away for now. Just like that.
Damn.
Fitch takes Rops. Should be able to get his hands on the gun. He's hesitant, worried that Mousesports are still nearby, but no. They're down on this B site, which is completely open for the taking. It's going to be a plant for decontamination. Strong after plant presence here inside of Vents, where Mo has that single AK. So at least they get the weapon. Can you get anything done with it? Even damage would be nice. Something to write off as a success.
Yeah, it's just a round that Gambit really have no business in, right? The fact that they're even able to get that AK-47 is a bonus in itself. You bang on, any damage is good. But Oscar just having a field day with that P250. This is just a couple of easy frags. Chris J's going to go Fitch, and Mo should be nowhere to be found holding on to that AK-47. Hopefully going to carry it through into the next round. Shouldn't have too many problems. No one's close enough. No one's going to be chasing him down there. In the money situation, you can see it right now. You can see the way that they've lost these rounds. Win one, lose one, win one, lose one. It's just like, that's the reset. That's not what you want. That's what you want to avoid on the CT side because it's so much more expensive. The weapons cost a little bit more. The utility costs a little bit more. You need that defuse kit.
Situation whereby even if Mousesports weren't exploiting a bit of a mid-round rotation from Gambit right now, they're exploiting them just based on the buy. two variables that are definitely playing against the CTs in this position.
Yeah, this pause will be very important in identifying that that's the weakness. They're going to know that that's where they got dropped off. That's where Stiko was able to find the gap, find the kills. How they adjust is the question mark. Do you play aggressive on Yarn? Like I said, not in their wheelhouse to really take the fight to them. They like to sit back and be passive because they have so many riflers, Adren, the man on your screen right now, who are just able to stand and deliver from a distance. The adjustment would have to be some yard control. It'd have to be taking the fight to them, making sure that those wall smokes don't shroud the appearance of the round, and they can stay on top of any possible rotations, any misplays. But this is where you could just throw in the wall smokes with your mouse and actually go down secret. Just run with the OG plan.
Oof. Timing missed. Opportunity as well, but one's definitely gained here by Rops. CT's moving around towards ramp, have spotted him, and in the meantime, Mo catches Oscar. So an op duel that goes the way of Mousesports, but with that forward wall of smokes, he is ambitiously rattling off some rounds.
I see a foot here. Did he see it? I think you could have just caught the foot if he was using widescreen. But you see the adjustment. They put a Dren outside to make sure no one could push around Cap. Even though they did find that opening, Rops already had lower control and no one is contesting it at the moment. They're aware that that is a problem. They're aware that that part of the map is open, and it looks like they're opting for this retake scenario. Fitch is the first man on contact.
He's got to be careful because he's walking out into the open. Finds the head of Stiko, sees the door peek wide, and Fitch drops two bodies. Sunny, in the meantime, keeps his full health as Rops will take the plant. So a difficult position, but maybe by putting Gambit on the retake, they'll be able to add a couple of kills to their collection. Maybe a round as well. No, Molotov to the feet of Adrian. He extinguishes the flames, but he also extinguishes the threat, at least the first one. Rops is still there, and this smoke actually blocks the eyes of Hobbit. Rops seems to have an idea that he's in that corner, but Rops actually walks away, and with the bomb being tapped, that now forces his hand back. He tries to spray up close, and it's not enough. Gambit, 3 players alive at the end, and a 4th round for them.
Yeah, too much for the Pugstar prodigy there. Well-rounded team player now. I've liked what I've seen this tournament so far. He's finally coming out of his shell a little bit more. When he first came into this team, I had high hopes, and I still do. I still think he has the star potential, but that's a 1v4 situation that maybe only the likes of Simple could be winning. This is one where Gambit needs to string another round together. This can't be another win one, lose one scenario, because that hard reset, it really hurts.
Oh, Oscar finding Adrian, Mo finding Sunny. So the Operas duel off, not versus one another. Their teammates, rather. Now Fitch just going to continue to shoot down range. He hasn't really found anything for it. There's actually a player up close, catches him completely off guard. That's Rops to find the opening. Smoke goes down at the feet of Hobbit, who's still good for one, but the gap allows for the chase, and yet he is straight back into the heavens. He ascends to safety. Now Mousesports are just going to pump the brakes.
I'm very impressed by Mousesports using utility and then finding openings in space, like not only kill-wise, but actually map territory-wise and playing these Gambit rotations to a T. Hobbit's found himself in a very passive situation, somewhere Rops probably won't be looking towards as he swings around to clear out the rest of this ladder base section or make his way into the top site. Stiko and old mate Chris J posturing towards ramp. Decisions are being made right now. The calls are coming out. Chris J, the general, the in-game leader, forcing them back towards lobby, and Hobbit, he left his position. I quite liked it, but Dozier with the trade again. This is back and forth.
Oh, nice Molotov as well. That's going to prevent the hut push. He tries to drop onto the window side, but that's where Chris J takes him. Now it's going to be on the Opera, and he comes barreling upwards, but then just as quickly goes down.
Yeah.
Mousesports with a great mid-round adaptation. Figuring out Gambit. You could argue make some mistakes. Hobbit changing positions, Doja dropping into the open. I mean, unfortunately for Mo, what's he going to do? He's stuck inside the vents. Thing
is, right, the position Dozier was in, he was on his own regardless. Hobbit had the ladder covered, but he could have been swung by, and they could have just killed Dozier straight away. So I can see why he was getting jittery, why he wanted to move that position and not sell his teammate out. But I think Dozier made a bigger blunder once he made that frag, dropped the perfect Molotov, and then went for the duel. Should have delayed, should have given his teammate a chance to come through the vent, or at least rotate in some way. Once again, the win one, lose one situation continues as Fitch this time, he's going to find a bit of success. We'll go down to Sunny.
Doja reels backwards. was really much trying to nip at their heels. Will give chase after seeing the nade, but Rops still drops him. And a 4 versus 2 turn 4v1 as Hobbit's left alone.
It's not the start Gambit would have been looking for by any means. CT side, you're hoping to grab yourself at least 9. This game plan from Mousesports, LMBC, the boys, they put it together. Hobbit with a nice shot there, but it's just, it doesn't really mean a lot. If you can hold on to the AK, that's great going into the last, but even still, I'm going to be wishing they had more. They should have been in a position to have a few more. Maybe we'll just take a quick look at the scoreboard to see what's happening. And never mind, this round's alive.
Yeah, Hobbit doesn't have the armor, but he's got the opportunity. Fire is going to be a bit of a nuisance as it continues to tick time off. It actually gets extinguished, and with a gap inside of it, he can try to play with this. The problem I see, is, of course, is that we've got Oscar all the way in lobby, and that's just a late commitment. The smoke's meant to, of course, bait the eyes of the terrorist in Mini, thinking, of course, that he passed on that back rafter, when in fact he's still sitting above. What was that?
How did he do that? How did he do all that damage just falling? Is whacking Oscar on the head there, but Rops will finish him off. Quickly just going to run everybody at home through the scoreboard. We've got Rops sitting on 17 frags, Oscar on 13, Sticko on 12 of his own. Some very impactful kills for Sticko earlier on in the piece. Chris J and Sunny on 8, rounding it out. And then on the flip side of things, we've got Dozier on 5, 7 apiece for Hobbit and Adren. Mel on 8, and then Fitch on 10.
Mo reveals his position by firing a shot. Drawn out by the flashbang. Mousesports going to go back to that wall of smokes, the forward one. Mo keeping his eyes up. Oh, there's a player right there. He can see his head.
What? Oh. Mo, you could see him. What's going on?
Able to still find the backstab, the double down. Doja finding Stiko's great, but Oscar's already able to respond back here. And Rops with an opening. Takes the head of Doja. Takes it to the 2 versus 3. And the T is trying to collapse down onto this A-bomb site where Hobbit falls. Adrian's able to trade, so it's all on Oscar. And he's got 2 players to find, unless he's found himself. What he does find is a route towards that B site.
Just note the utility here coming into this. He can basically mitigate any rotations through the vent with that Molotov and smoke up another choke point if he desires, but going straight for the plant, big balls play.
CT is going to come downwards. There's the Molotov. Smoke's actually going to apply cover. That frag grenade will deal damage, yeah. Oh, but he's just on the other side. 10 HP left over. He's just going to try to play inside it. Adrian guts him.
Trying to play silly buggers around the smoke there. Adren's not having any of it, and they pick up their 5th. Just to note, the rounds, you know, that Gambit were able to pick up there were off the back of like low utility, right? Or not ideal buys. They were rounds where they had the individual fights go in their favor. This play here, we can see his head. I can see it. It doesn't matter, right? He still gets 2 kills. Maybe it's intentional. Maybe he knows something we don't, Scrawny.
It's just not that captivating of a kill.
Nah, he thought I'll go for
You wanted the highlight reel, the collateral, something else.
Yeah, I can see that. We all like to be flashy. We all like to be flashy. Looking concerned there. I would be concerned too. 10-5 is not the ideal CT half on Nuke, but to flick it over, if they can grab this pistol round, we always say it, cliche as anything, they're right back in this one. I think, you know, the pacing coming out from Mousesports there was very impressive. The game plan, they followed it to a T. Rob's lighting up the scoreboard. The fact that they're able to be stars within this system, within these strategies, that's something that's impressive. They're not just playing that free-fall style of Counter-Strike. They're playing within a system, and they're trading efficiently. They're making it all work. And this is where we're going to see what style of Gambit is going to come out here on the T side of Nuke.
All right, we got a couple more laughs.
Giggles are good.
A little jubilation. Again, Mousesports have to be happy. I feel like their T side went to a T.
Yeah, I think you bang on there, but once more, it's pretty standard. Sticko with the kit and the smoke, and then 5 armor on the side of Gambit. Looks like they want to go for a fast play off towards ramps.
Rops is going to try to get ahead of this. Again, offset by the movement of Gambit. He will retreat. Rest of the CTs thinking about coming downwards, but in fact, it's a wraparound straight through hell. And Chris J looking to give them hell, but mowed down after 1. Hobbit, in the meantime, can respond towards Hut. The player is very close here and instantly shut down his Stiko. Rops doubling back for a fight, and Fitch finds it. 4v2 now. Make it 1. Sunny's all that's left. And he's gonna need a little ray of hope in this one, and it's just not there for him. Hobbit with an execution, Gambit with a pistol, and like you said, a little cliche, but they are back in this. They have a chance to cut down the lead, 9-10, just based off of the conversions. But if we've seen anything on Nuke today, Chad, it is Force Buy wins.
Yeah, and Mousesports want to get involved. Scout on Chris J. He's done well with that historically. Deagle on Oscar. An actual 5-7 on Robson Sticko. We don't see too much of that nowadays with the CZ being in fashion, in vogue.
This shot so far.
This is similar to what I was talking about with Mousesports' approach on the Antica, going outside dry, taking the duels, using the rifles to the long range, taking down the pistols, and getting up close and personal with the MAC-10. This round's quickly getting melted away.
Yeah, near flawless. I mean, Mo, sure enough, he's lost 21 HP, but hell, he's got a 3K for it. Could find the 4th if Sunny's just beneath him. Like a cave troll, just hiding, hoping. Mo, he's on your screen again.
He needs glasses. Go get checked out or something. There's a couple times, you know. I remember. Here's my excuse, mate. I'm obviously ancient at this point, but I consider myself in Counter-Strike terms to have old man eyes. Sometimes you're just looking at the screen. You're just intently glaring, and something happens like the top left. I remember, and my players would just yell at me like, "Chad, you just saw him. You just like it's like, oh, did I? Sorry, guys." All right, this one's easy as that. Put a bow on it. This is your bang on. They should be able to convert up to the 8th round here. We won't see another Force Buy coming out from Mousesports, most likely. They're going to want to get better guns in their hands for the first gun round. But this is where the question mark always comes in, right? This is a map where you require a lot of utility to stop rushes, to stop early top aggression. You need those Molotovs. You need that protocol in place. You need to cross your T's, dot your I's, and you're not going to have that if you're Mousesports due to this Force Buy. Let's go Deagle again. Chris J. And Rob's only on the USP S's. Mix up this time from Gambit. They know that they're probably not going to be versing upgraded pistols. They're playing more based in the lobby.
There's Doja finding Stiko. But hell, Stiko finds a lot of damage dealt. Meanwhile, Fitch just peppers away the head of Rops. Off of the back of that, Gambit will look to pry into ramp. There are still 2 CTs here, one of which just has that MAC-10. And Kevlar. Be a heroic play, and it's just not meant to be. Hobbit finding 2. And Oscar finding 1. Deagle with a headshot.
All right, relatively clean.
Yep.
Okay, now we're getting ready, and it's about to kick off as the first gun round of the second half. As the score is 10-8 in favor of Mousesports, still with a 2-round buffer, 2-round lead. Buy will come out. It's a low buy. It's what I was talking about. We've got Oscar and Orpa, someone who can definitely be a force to be reckoned with, is sitting there on a UMP. Famous on Sticker. This isn't the ideal buy. This isn't what you'd want, but at least that utility is in play to stop anything super aggressive. Mo going to go for the squeaky door pick.
Whoa, 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 Mo. Back it up. This is 70 HP for his efforts.
Cop that, though.
Yeah.
Nade drops him down to 26. Look at how quickly all the utility has been expended on the side of Mousesports. They're down to just a handful of flashes and a smoke grenade. But also the same can be said for Gambit, who have enough for, I guess, re-aggression. I like the Fitch and Hobbit.
Crochet re-rotates back up. This is going to give that outer yard control to Gambit, or at least some footing here. Hobbit's in a pretty interesting position. In fact, if he hears movement from Chris J, he might look to crack heaven open. Chris J welcomes this wraparound from the rafters, but in fact, it's the player beneath him that it's the real threat. Again, both Hobbit and then Mo further back. They do decide to cross, and Oscar can't spot it. In fact, Fitch then blasts him from behind. Finds the angle in from Hut. You can see Gambit toying with the idea of hitting A. Hobbit's certainly going to help out as he finds Chris, then is traded back by Robs. Now, it's frantic. It's hectic. Everybody's dying all across the map, and it leaves Sunny 1v2. He's coming in from behind!
Sunny!
Both headshots!
Whew! Lucky as that, huh? You don't expect both of them to be on your screen not looking the right direction, but he takes advantage of that and makes the most of it, securing a big round for Mousesports. Whew. That got me excited.
Man, that's perfect.
Can't paint a better picture than that one, can you? Jeez. All right, tactical timeout. Maybe have a little bit of a calm down, deep breath. That was, let's be honest, that was a little bit lucky for Sunny there to have that opportunity served up to him by Gambit. They do have enough money to buy again. They do have the AWP on Mo again. That was a hugely competitive round. That was very chaotic, and the buy is not great for Mousesports because they did lose so many players, but I said that last round they didn't seem to have too many problems. Chris J on the Scout, Stico on the Alligator. Second time we've seen it coming out. And UMP for Oscar once more.
I've never heard someone call it an alligator.
Chomps.
Okay.
Sound effects and all.
I really like the hand motions.
Thank you. That's for you. There's no one else. No one else can see that action.
There's a little scout damage. Chris J exchanges with Hobbit. Ooh, he tries to retreat, but posted up is Mo. The mobility of that scout affords him the retreat. Mo's got to be careful. I feel like with that scout, you can just so quickly jiggle peek the heaven door. Try to strike your opponent with a quick in and out.
This round's hugely important for Gambit. Just put it in context for everybody. If they're able to pick this one up without, having too many casualties in a relatively clean manner, taking away all the guns from Mousesports, they're probably going to be back in a position to tie this one at legs 11. 11 pieces of each. Sunny again, striking in the back. Mo not checking his corners, not expecting that one to be in play, and a 4-on-5 advantage for Mousesports in the middle of the round.
Hobbit's just keeping his eyes on it. He'd just love for that CT to walk out. He knows he's still in there. With that information, they've realized that they can isolate the other 3 CTs. One of which now spotted in heaven. So there's only 2 players that are unbeknownst to them. Here comes Fitch. We've heard the shots from the scout above. They know that there was a player back towards the garage. Oh, and Fitch opts to go up the ladder, instantly executed by Chris J. He re-peeks and still sees Adrian over there. It's curious to me that Fitch doesn't just try to play outside of heaven. Maybe catch Chris J peeking a second time. You could even wrap over towards garage and try to find that. But in fact, it's Doja with an opening. Sunny takes Adrian down, follows suit with the kill to Hobbit. Now it's Doja 1 versus 3. Finding the first one up close. He is still flashbang, 12 bullets in mag. Here's the movement up close, hits the second headshot. It is just down to Sunny. He's got 3 and 4. Another crucial clutch from Sunny. And another crucial round for Mousesports now.
That one's cutting it close, isn't it? Sunny there, like you said, with the clutch. Coming up clutch, carrying off where he left from yesterday on Mirage. He was beasting it up then, and the impact he's had now, especially in this second half, has been pivotal in keeping Mousesports' dreams alive. That got really messy, you're right. I think like Fitch going up ladder like that, that's always dangerous. That doesn't work out very often, especially without a flash from the teammate or something along those lines. Last kill there. Dozy did well to get the bomb down and make it an interesting situation, but we are able to get another gun round out of Gambit here, and once again, an average or less than optimal buy from Mousesports. I haven't really seen too much of a game plan from Gambit. They get map territory and then look for kills. That seems to be what the plan is, seek out the frags. It looks like we're going to get more of the same as Mo going to open this one up, and Sunny, the hero, he's been taken down early.
Yeah, Chris J was trying to set him up with a flashbang, but he sets himself up instead. Now the rest of the T is ready to just trickle past. Frag grenades, smokes, flashbangs. It's not enough to stop Chris J. Now Mousesports maintain a 3-man advantage. Hell, Oscar even gets a kill in the meantime. So it is just Fitch left on the AWP, spotted as well. That could be the nail in the coffin. They know exactly where he's at. They're going to aggress from above. And he misses. What could have been at least a little damage dealt back the other way. Mousesports now on 13 rounds here on their map pick. This CT side's really starting to come together. Like you said, I don't feel like there is that necessary game plan from Gambit. And if you just want to clash with frags, well, that's going to give Mousesports ample opportunity to shut you down.
Yeah, they'll stand and bang all day. They've got just as much firepower as that of the side of Gambit. Chris J there, he is still wielding the AWP. Now we've touted Oscar as the main AWPer of this team and the star AWPer of this team with very explosive power, but Chris wielding it towards outside will find and reap dividends once more. Taking down Mo. Jumping away. Very mobile, isn't he? Tagged up and should be enough to make him scamper and find a new position, but it's not going to matter. Oscar and Sunny chumming for 2. Fitch will find Chris in transition. That's the 14th round on the board for Mousesports there, and this is where we do need to see a change in strategy, a change in approach from this Gambit side. They need to look. If we haven't seen that many clear-cut rounds in sense of it's been different faces shown. We've seen clutches coming in the end. They are able to find territory, but maybe they just go for that territory play and need something more in the mid-round, more decisiveness. Maybe someone needs to step up and make that call. We do know that this is a very a vocal team, offered by Communal in the mid-round. Hobbit has a lot to say, so does Adren. There's a wall of smokes.
Adrian's going to try to get past this, and he actually doubles back, finding a gap and finding Sunny. AWP from Chris J's looking for any kind of a target. He's got to be cautious as he's standing in the open. There it is. Fitch doubles back and takes it. Now Oscar nearly caught being aggressive here. Could have walked away, but decides to linger on at least a moment longer. And it's during that moment that Doja finds Stiko. So certainly Mousesports cut down to a 5 versus 2. And while the utility is incredibly low for Gambit, the number counts high. And that counts for quite a bit. I feel like at this point, Mousesports, they need to make a play if they're even going to contest this round. If not, it's going to leave Gambit to their own devices. And they'll eventually find a site for the taking. Mo nearly finds Rops, hidden away. But here's the plant. 2 versus 5. It's dire straits for Mousesports.
For sure. Great band as well. Gambit's tagline should be they do a lot with very little. Because once more, not a lot of utility. Sure, they were fully bought up, but they got a lot done with just those few smokes, that outside presence, Adren with the opening. Better choice of game plan, but here's where the adjustment can come in quickly from Mousesports, right? If they're going to go for that again, that Molotov that we've seen come into play just to stop that wall, something that they could simply throw. Very menacing there as Rops, making us a costly round, making it expensive and showing us a little bit of flair. I wouldn't be chasing anymore if I was Fitch or Mo. I'd just let him hold on to this. Never mind, give away another gun. It's like not like you have money in the bank or something. That's a silly play there from Gambit.
Definitely a costly one. Rops with 4 frags in the round. Gambit only going to scamper away with 1. Yeah. 1 weapon.
Yeah, it's not great. And you look at 3.9, 3.5. Means someone's not going to have everything they need, and low utility once again. But that motto, that tagline that I think their branding should get involved in. If it pays off here, that could be the players. Fitch getting aggressive over towards ramp, pushing through the Molotov. Rops, the man, stands and delivers with 2 big frags.
Actually able to fall away as well. 20 health is still enough to stand. Sunny dropped instantly by Doja. Stiko trades back with a 2K of his own, and can he find the 3rd? It is stuck inside the corner. Doja with nowhere to run right now. He tries to fight his way out, and he at least buys himself a little bit more time. Op shot, flashbang, his fate is sealed. He's done, and Mousesports have 15. And so, we have a 6-round buffer for Gambit to try and play with, but I can't help but feel very convinced by this CT side of Mousesports. I feel like they've been in control of many situations.
I want to have a stadium absolutely packed out with a bunch of people cheering, he will Rops you. What do you reckon?
I can get behind that.
Yeah? All right, last chance, last stand. Saloon for Gambit here. Pistols in hand. Not a lot to work with, but a tall task ahead.
Chris J. Easy frag versus the Deagle, and they all just start to falter 1 by 1. Doja left over, and here we have it. It's Mousesports certainly picking up their map choice of Nuke. Gambit trying as they might put up a fight, and it's just not enough. Mousesports carrying on the success that we saw in the group stage of this tournament. And hell, they're now going into the second